Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the upper cross syndrome. So this is basically what causes neck and shoulder pain, and often we see headaches, the tension headaches associated with this from sitting at a desk for prolonged periods of time. So basically what we're going to go over is what is the upper cross syndrome, which is just a fancy name to kind of like group these symptoms together. It came from originally from a physician in Europe called Vladimir Janda, which is where he basically talks about the compensation patterns that we get when we are sitting at a desk all day long or driving a car all day long in front of our phone all day long. Those kind of things is what he basically describes for us, and the compensation patterns that arise that basically include our pecs getting tight and our shoulders rolling in, and our backside of the shoulder getting elongated and weak. And then same thing happening up at the neck is we tend to have our chin poking forward, so we have lots of tension and we're short through here and long through the neck flexors here. Not super important that you know all of those details, just wanted to give you guys some background on it. So the assessment side of things, what we want to do is set ourselves up with a camera, take some photos from the front, each side and the back of ourselves so that we can see, just take a look at our posture objectively and say, is this me? So what we're going to see in those photos is typically that your shoulders are rolling forward, so it's going to look short through here and tight. You might even see more like muscle definition and like tone in the front of the shoulder. And then same thing on the back side, but opposite of that, you're going to see that the shoulder blades are kind of splayed out and wrapping around, and there's a lot of distance to cover in that back, and that things kind of almost look stretched out. So then we want to turn to the sides, and this is where we're really going to see a lot of it. Is what we're looking for is that the chin kind of pokes out and the whole head as a whole is shifted forward compared to the rest of the body. So if you're taking a full photo, you're going to see, we should see the ankle, the knee, the hip, and the shoulder and the ear all in a nice straight line, but most of the times what we see is that that head has shifted forwards, and oftentimes even the shoulders have come forward too as they roll forward. So the side angle is really the shot that you guys want, just a nice neutral stance. Don't try and get into a specific posture, try and hold what your true posture is so that we're not getting any bias there. Take that shot from the side and you'll see if the head's forward, poking chin out, and you'll see that the neck's kind of cranked back a little bit, then that's a pretty good indication that this is you. So then we want to get into some exercises for this specifically. So the important piece here is that we always release the tight muscles first, and then we strengthen the weaker muscles. So when we're talking about the neck, what we want to do is release the tight muscles. So that's going to be at the back of our head, our suboccipital muscles. So just below where our skull kind of meets our neck, you're going to grab a ball, a single ball, or what's called a peanut, which is basically two balls stuck together. You can use two tennis balls jammed into a sock and tie a knot at the end of it, or you can buy a specific peanut or tape two lacrosse balls together with some tape, whatever you have on hand. And what we want to do is just put it just below our skull there and find the tender points into there, and just spend some time doing some self-massage in there to help relax those muscles. And then we want to follow that up with a little chin tuck exercise. So you're going to lay down flat on the ground and you're just going to tuck your chin down and just lift your head just a little bit off the ground and try and hold that for 3 to 5 seconds in there and release through that pec. We're going to do the same thing with the upper trap, where the ball, put it up against the wall in this area. You're going to find some tender spots in there, and you're kind of on a wall, but you need a corner so that you can get your body past it a bit for both the shoulder and the upper trap. Upper trap, you're just going to take a ball, put it right on the top of the trap muscle here, and tip down into the wall and find some tender spots in there, dig into there and release those. Then after you've released both your pec and your upper traps, those are the ones that tend to be tight, we're going to go to a wall and we're going to do what's called wall angels, where you're basically up against the wall, sliding the hands up and down. And the importance of this exercise is that we do it slow and we do it properly and well, because it helps retrain the body so that the upper trap basically is less dominant in that movement. And then we want to get into some movement through our shoulders and our neck So basically what we want to do is called shoulder and neck cars, which basically means we're just taking those joints through the fullest range of motion possible. So if we were talking about our neck, we just want to drop it all the way down, make as big of circles as we can here, and then going back the same way we would do the same thing, and just take our time going as big a circle as possible. And then shoulders, same thing. I'll put a little video up here for you guys showing that quickly, but I also will link it in another video for you guys. The shoulder cars is another super important one to be doing. Up here for you guys showing that quickly, but I also will link it in another video for you guys. The shoulder cars is another super important one to be doing. Up here for you guys showing that quickly, but I also will link it in another video for you guys. The shoulder cars is another super important one to be doing. Up here for you guys showing that quickly, but I also will link it in another. And then finally, just some simple cat-cow type exercise where you're on all fours and you're just getting that movement through your spine. But again, with this one, go slow and try and move one vertebrae at a time and get as much movement in there and as much expansion by filling your breath up into your chest cavity as possible, instead of just going through the motion really fast. You want to just go nice and slow, trying to move one vertebrae at a time. And then there's a couple things that we can be doing at our desk each day that are going to help reduce the amount of tension and pain that built up in our neck and shoulders. And those are simple things like just making sure that your monitor is at a good height and that you can see things clearly on that monitor. So for instance, if you wear glasses, make sure you have them on so that you're not translating forward and squinting, because that's going to bring that head even further forward, right? So screen's at a good height. It's not way down here. It's somewhere where you can just look straight forward at it instead of having to look down, and that you don't have to bring your head forward to see what's actually on the screen. Next, you want to just make sure that you're taking breaks throughout the day as well. So it seems very minor, but it actually makes a huge difference. If every, say, 25 to 30 minutes, you take a 5-minute movement break, and this is a fantastic time to do some of these exercises. My personal favorites to do throughout the day, because it's easiest to do like in an office type setting, are those wall angels where you just take a break, go up to a wall, get some of those in, and then go back to work. Or the shoulder cars as well. You can just go get some big circles in through your shoulders, kind of reset everything, and then get back to work. And this is going to double down as an opportunity for your brain to kind of freshen up, and you'll find your productivity actually goes up when you do take those small little breaks. And aside from doing that little bit at work, you also do want to make sure you're doing some of these corrective exercises and the soft tissue work regularly at home as well. If you spend anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes each day of the week, it's going to make a massive difference for you in the amount of tension that you have and the posture overall. So to summarize the video for you guys, basically what we want to focus on is that we are doing a little posture assessment so that we can see, is this us? Is our neck forward? Are our shoulders rolled in? If you're at a desk, most likely it is you to some degree. And then from there, we want to remember with the exercises that we want to first release the tight muscles, then follow up with strengthening and building in better movement habits with the other muscles. And then finally, that we are taking little breaks throughout the hour workday so that we can kind of reset these as we go. So I highly recommend you guys give these a try. If you are at a desk for long hours, suffering from neck or shoulder pain and getting headaches, this is definitely going to help with that. All right, you guys, that's all I got for you for today. I hope you got a ton of value out of this. If you did, leave it in the comments and let me know that it was valuable to you. And then of course, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.